Hello, this is Todd Shank from Premier Soccer Chat. I'm going to be starting out a new thing for myself, trying to do some of the some previews, maybe do some predictions here on YouTube, as well as trying to even put out some of my FPL tips on a weekly basis. So, for today, I wanted to start out doing some previews based on my predictions for the week. So let me go ahead and pull up my predictions. So this is going to be for week 3 predictions. I don't always have the time to go through and do previews for every single match, so I thought I would go ahead and just do a quick video, try to go through, see if I can cover each of the matches for the week. So as you can see here, I do have my predictions pulled up. So starting out with the first match of the day. So what I usually try to do is, when I have the time to really get into it, is look at some of the statistics for the week. The problem with these early matches is that there's not a whole lot of statistics available out there, so we're kind of winging it here a little bit. So as you can see from the standings, we have let's see, Bournemouth here at home this season. They already have a loss at home. They haven't scored any goals. Well, yeah, they haven't scored any goals at all, but it might be a little bit late to revise this. I might even revise it back to, if I did go in and revise it, it would be just saying, I don't know that Bournemouth is really going to score any goals against Man City. The thing is that City has given up a goal this season. Again, that is pretty low. So if I did want to go back and revise it, I think I would go back and say, City should come away with a pretty solid win. It's just that I haven't really trusted City's defense this season so far. So if we look at some of the team statistics here, one of the issues that I've been having this morning is that who scored, where I do try to get a lot of my statistics from, has been very slow, so might not be able to delve in too deep with everything. I do expect Man City to come through with a solid win in that match. Definitely scoring at least 3 goals. I'd say with a team that they have, scoring anything less than 3 goals is going to look pretty weak for them. In the second match of the season, Crystal Palace and Swansea. Swansea was starting to look pretty good, even against Manchester United last weekend. That was a match they were playing at home, so it might look a little bit different on the road so far. They do have their 2 losses this year. Sorry, not 2 losses, 1 point from 2 matches where they did pick up a loss and a draw. The first one being that the 0-0 draw to start the year, and then they did give up the 4 goals against United. So that definitely seemed to be a case where they kind of wore themselves out near at the end. And Crystal Palace looks like they're still trying to get their legs under them. See, here they don't have any wins, but they did have some pretty tough matches already this season. But I am going with a 1-1 draw in that. I think there will be some goals in this match. Definitely looking at seeing a draw for there. The second draw that I'm predicting for the week, actually I'm predicting draws in the next 2 matches here. Southampton, I would say, so far on the face of things, Southampton and Huddersfield are probably pretty evenly matched. I know Huddersfield Town's in second place already this season, scoring those 4 goals, have a pretty solid defense. Not giving up any goals, keeping 2 clean sheets. I would say the same thing for Southampton. They've had a pretty solid defense. Other than that debacle against West Ham, I'm not really sure what happened there, but Southampton should come away. If I had to lean towards one or the other, I'd definitely go with Southampton as a winner in this one. looked a little bit more threatening in their 3-2 win last week. So, all right, so we do have this pulled up here. Do try to look at some of the like shots per game, shots on target per game. So sort that by shots on target, shots on goal here. Southampton has gone away a lot of shots this season so far. And that's not even 2 matches only. Sort this here, but Huddersfield somewhere here in the middle has given up a fair amount of shots, and Southampton here has only given up 10 shots per game so far, and I'd say without really digging too deep, the bulk of those shots probably came in last week's match against West Ham. Moving on to Newcastle and West Ham. Both teams have struggled defensively this season. West Ham has already given up 7 goals, and Newcastle has given up 3. Newcastle definitely has had the weaker opponents so far, so even having given up those 3 goals is looking pretty weak on them. So I am predicting a 2-2 draw there. I know Newcastle hasn't really scored a whole lot of goals yet. As in scored 0 goals, but West Ham has had a very leaky defense with 4 goals in their first match, 3 in the second. So I am predicting a 2-2 draw there. I think there should be some goals in that. Watford and Brighton. Brighton is another team that has really not looked too good, not scored any goals, given up 4 goals already. Really seem to be struggling. Even though I really thought that Brighton and Huddersfield would actually be a little bit more reversed. I really thought that Brighton would kick off well to start the year and Huddersfield would kind of struggle. But, well, that's the way it goes. Some teams do better to really pick up here. And Watford's another team I really thought would struggle. They had some problems there at the end of last season. I didn't really think they'd kick on to start off this year. But, teams... that's why they play the games, to prove people wrong. Watford has already scored those 5 goals. Allowed 3 goals in that first 3-3 draw to Liverpool, but last week's 2-0 win was pretty solid for them. And, they're a team that I still think will finish, middle to bottom of the table, but, never know. They could prove everybody wrong, finish somewhere in that top 10 area. It's going to be pretty tough for them, but you never know. I do need to make a change there. Stoke and Arsenal are not playing, so I'm glad I did take a look at this. I can go back in and edit that. So, moving on here to Sunday's matches. We do have the first match of the day kicking off, Chelsea and Everton. Yes, Everton has, they've looked a lot better than a lot of people might have thought, but still they're, scored only 2 goals, 1 goal in each match, and got that 1 goal that they gave up to Man City last week. So I do think that Chelsea should start to get their feet under them, should start to pick up some wins, and I think this is one where they're going to really start to kick on and pick up a win against Everton. Right. So I need to go in. I somehow managed to forget the Manchester United and Leicester City match. So I'm going to go ahead and just, make that change right here. That is one match. I am predicting another United win. Not quite as solid of a win as they have had in their first 2 matches, but I do really feel like the way that they have been playing compared to the way that Leicester City has been playing. Leicester with their 1 win, 1 loss, they've scored 5 goals, but they've also given up 4 goals. And compare that to United. I know United hasn't really had a lot of attacking prowess thrown against them, so having the speedy attacks of Vardy and even Okazaki has really done well this season. It could be a bit tricky for them, but I really do think that they have the defense to hold them back and really be able to come through. I'm predicting a 2-0 win, most likely 2 goals in the second half. They are a possession-based team that should be able to keep the ball away from Leicester and hope more than likely wear them down. So the moving back to Sunday again, West Brom and Stoke, both teams have actually looked fairly decent defensively. Stoke only giving up the 1 goal. West Brom up here with 2 clean sheets. The key here is West Brom, they only have the 2 goals this season. And same thing with Stoke. They only have their 1 goal this season. So I don't really see a whole lot of goals coming in this match. Hence the 0-0 draw that we have there, especially, Tony Pulis. I'm sure he will not want to lose to Stoke. So looking at him setting up rather defensively. Which then brings us to what is, I'm sure, is going to be the blockbuster match of this weekend. Definitely looking at Arsenal coming through. This one really could go either way. Based on both teams this season, neither one looks like they really want to do any defending. Arsenal having giving up 4 goals, Liverpool giving up 3 goals, and both teams scoring 4 goals. So I do think that there's going to be some goals in this one, and I'm edging it towards Arsenal. Mostly because Liverpool did have the midweek match. There could be some tired legs in there already. It's early in the season. They haven't looked like defending much. So Arsenal, I am edging them just barely in this match. Which then brings us to the last match of the weekend. Tottenham, they started to look really good last weekend. As you can see, they've only allowed 7.5 shots per game. And have taken 18 shots per game with an average of 6 shots on target each game. So, and last weekend, I know they didn't end up with a win, but Harry Kane really did start to look good. He was starting to get a lot more shots on target. I think he had about 3 shots on target in that match and started to look like he was ready to step it up and get going this season. So that is one where I am predicting a Tottenham win, and it should be a pretty good, solid win. I know Burnley, they're probably going to sit back, but I mean they're a team that they've scored 3 goals, but they had those goals that came against a basically 9-man Chelsea team that looked like they just kind of, I don't know what happened in that first match, but they really didn't look like they were up for it and fell apart. So Burnley took advantage of that. But since then, they've given up 3 goals already. So it's not like Burnley's a solid defensive team. And Tottenham, they really do have the attacking prowess. Eriksen, Kane, Dele Alli in there. Definitely thinking that they should be able to win that one pretty handily. So that really wraps up. I just wanted to make this kind of a quick preview for these weekend matches. I know it's already kind of late here on Friday before kickoff starts tomorrow morning. So, I mean, it's about 2 o'clock my time here, and matches kick off at 7:30 my time, which is here on the East Coast. So, yeah, I guess that should wrap it up for this week. I do apologize that this week it's probably not going to look too pretty, but I am going to be working on, putting up some graphics, trying to make things look a little bit better, maybe get the quality of the video and sound up here a little bit as well. So you can always find me on Twitter at Todd_Shank, as well as Premier Soccer Chat, both on Twitter. And you can find All of my writing is just me here at Premier Soccer Chat, so you can always find any of my writings here. I try to do my weekly predictions, throw in some FPL tips as well, and I'm hoping to do some more of those FPL tips on a weekly basis over here on the video. So go ahead, hit me up on Twitter, find me at my blog, feel free to comment there, and as always, good luck and have fun.